What's up, everybody? Welcome to what is normally the Red Friday Q&A hangout, but the game was last night, so I'm just going to call it Overreaction Friday hangout and talk about some of the funniest overreactions I've seen and just talk with you guys about your thoughts of the game, how you think it went, and now that you've been able to sleep on it for a night, how are you feeling compared to the initial loss last night? So we're going to talk about all that and more, but first... Had to hit the intro. It don't feel right without it. How you guys doing, man? See, we got like 100 people in here so far. See, default view. Let me fix the chat. Flip in the house. What up? With the full name? By the way, Tony is only good at playing in the red zone. Okay. I'm certainly not freaking out. No, I'm not freaking out. I saw an article that was already asking if the Chiefs dynasty was already over because they lost by 1 point. Opening week, the dynasty's over. They lost by 1 point to the Lions, who are a good team. I think they made good strides carrying the wave of momentum from last season. Off season had some good pickups. We talked about this. I feel like they had a couple good draft. Dude, everybody they drafted kind of balled out last night. The linebacker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch. All those guys made plays. I mean, Brian Branch got a freaking Christmas present right into the breadbasket with Kadarius Toney channeling his inner Tyreek Hill on that pick six. But yeah, I don't know that after like watching things again. So after I called the game last night, I watched stuff again. And kind of just process through it. We have a video coming out tonight at like 5:30, kind of detailing the game, on the highlights and breaking down thoughts and biggest takeaways from there. But like, I actually feel pretty good. Now, would I have rather have been a W? Of course. I mean, it would have been nice just to have maybe Kadarius Toney catch a couple passes, and it could have been a different story. So it's that close. It was that close of a game. I predicted a 3-point game. Hats off to the Lions. They got the W. But I don't think it's as crazy of an issue here as, you know, maybe some people were initially thinking last night. I mean, yeah, was Travis Kelce missed? Of course. Could Chris Jones and Minihue add to the defensive plan and add to the threat of the D-line overall? Yes, of course. Was it weird as hell that Chris Jones was chilling with like discount mafia bosses in a suite watching the game? Yeah, that was really weird. But I don't really fault the defense at all for this game. I mean, obviously they gave up 14 points, but they only gave up 14 points. That's the whole point of the defense playing pretty well. I mean, 11 drives the Lions had. They put up 14 points. Obviously they had the pick six, which gave the Lions 7 more, so they won 21-20, but the defense only gave up 14. The offense sputtered in the second half, and the defense kind of held their own. I mean, that's without Chris Jones. That's without a Minihue. I thought Snead had a good game. McDuffie, Spags coached a really good game. Obviously, yeah, did they give up plays that were like, frick? Yes, of course. There was a 3rd and 12 that was converted. There was some other stuff that happened. You know, they drove all the way down the field after the fake punt on their own 17. Freaking psychos. Dan Campbell is a psycho for that one. But it worked. And, you know, it's just like, geez. But yeah, I think the defense played pretty well. The bigger concerns are the Chiefs' inability to establish a run game. Patrick Mahomes ran for 45 yards. You want to know how much Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran total in that game? 45 yards! They literally ran as many, they rushed for as many yards as Patrick Mahomes did combined. Mahomes, 45. CEH and Pacheco, 45 total. That's unacceptable, in my opinion. Outside of that, the drops were an issue, 100%, but those are fixable. That's a fixable thing. Hopefully, you would think, you know. So I personally, I'm not freaking out. I think here's my thing. If Travis Kelce doesn't play in week 2 game matchup against the Jags, and the Chiefs still look like that on offense, I will then be concerned because the Chiefs now have 10 days to prepare for the Jags, basically, with no Travis Kelce. Like, I would assume they want him to play, but they'll probably plan and scheme and strategize with the thought or theory or the option that he may not play. I kind of worded that badly, but like they'll prepare both ways. They'll prepare for Kelce to play, and they'll also prepare scenarios for him not playing. And then if if it looks like that on offense after this Jags game with no Kelce, I will be more concerned. But the fact that they had a day and a half, Andy Reid said they didn't even change the game plan. He said that after his the post-game presser, but I'm kind of like, you didn't change it at all? So, there were some times out there where it was rough. I think Mahomes played a great game. He was pressured quite a bit. I think Aiden Hutchinson was having a great game. And Mahomes didn't get it. He didn't get sacked. He got the ball away. He had, obviously, positive runs. He had 45 yards rushing. Positive highlights, in my opinion, from Mahomes. Mahomes can't throw the ball and then run down the field and catch his own pass. So if these guys are dropping stuff that's hitting them in the breadbasket, I am not putting that on Mahomes. Now, were there a couple passes maybe slightly off the mark and stuff like that? Yeah, sure. Was one of the Sky Moore drops would that have been a hard catch to make? Yes. Was the 4th and 25 throw, at the end of the game that Sky Moore could have caught, was that a tough catch? Yes. But dude, these guys are paid millions of freaking dollars to catch the football. You got to come down with it, man. You got to come up with the catch, and they didn't get it done. They did not get it done. I know we got some donos, so let me go back to that. But yeah, I'm feeling. I mean, I would have preferred the W, but it's not like people were making it seem last night like the sky was falling. I don't really feel like that after thinking on it for a bit. James with the 5. Dang it, I fell asleep at halftime last night and missed the best part. Hey, you slept through. Yeah, you're fine. You didn't need to see that live. It's fine, James. Thanks for the 5, brother. Justin said, if it means anything at all, after 5-0 in the Mahomes era, it was unfortunately going to happen. Plus, Mahomes said it was a learning experience after. Yeah, he really said it was a learning experience for the young guys. Like, they need to taste defeat early. The bitter taste of defeat. They need to taste that early because basically Mahomes is like, once you taste that, you never want it again. So he's like, it's a good learning experience for the guys there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mahomes was 5-0 week 1. Came to an end. Andy Reid was 9-1. He's 9-2 now as the Chiefs head coach week 1. And yeah, I mean, Mahomes averaged 37 points per game going into week 1 this last night, and they only put up 20. You put up 2 touchdowns and then 2 field goals. The short yardage stuff still concerns me a little bit. I understand on some of those short yard situations. Some of those short yardage situations were actually drops, like the shallow crosser that Tony dropped because him and Richie James like almost ran into each other, and it threw him off. Like that was a drop. Jerick McKinnon was a drop on 3rd down. Sky dropped some stuff. So some of that was drops, but like the fake tight end QB sneak jet sweep to Rashee Rice. Get that out of here. What are we doing? No, thank you. And Andy Reid said in his post-game presser last night, they made a strong point to work on short yardage situations all offseason because they struggled with it last year. They were below where they wanted to be success rate-wise on the short yardage stuff. I'm not going to overreact. It was only week 1, but it's like, well, didn't look any better last night. The run game struggled. Tackles, I want to see how Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor look come like week 3. I want to give them like a couple more weeks before I express any real concern. Obviously, a lot of people were upset thinking Jawan Taylor was cheating the whole game. I mean, if that was the case, just please, refs, call it early and then let's go. But I don't really have any major thoughts on that because how do you win a game and then come in pissing and moaning about the Chiefs cheating and they almost got away with it? I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I mean, some of these people, they've been drinking soy milk since they were a child. So they've been coddled. They don't know what else to do but blame things. I'm like, you got a W and you're over here complaining? Freaking weirdos. It wasn't just Lions fans. It was kind of all over. But that was the weird thing to me. I was like, you guys won. What are you good? Like, what are we doing here? And yeah, let me look at this. Yo, lovely love. Would you mind a trade for Mike Evans? I don't know. People have been saying that. I mean, sure, if they want to. I mean, you're going to have to pay the man. So I don't know how you're going to do that unless a Chris Jones extension happens and it somehow frees up enough cap space to do it. I don't know at this point in time if it's like a crucial need. Again, I will be more concerned after week 2. If they have 10 days to plan for the Jags game, and if Kelsey doesn't play and they look like that, they fall flat completely, I will be more concerned then. But here's the thing, man. Some of these young guys, they just got to get reps. They got to get time. Richie James and Mahomes. He's not the young guy, but like they got to get time. They got to get timing down. Justin Ross, he only played 6 snaps yesterday, but you know, they got to work him in. They'll work him in a little bit more. Who else? I mean, Rashee Rice looked pretty good, in my opinion, and he's the new guy. I mean, he connected nicely with Mahomes on a scramble drill, got open for him. He scored that touchdown. And then he had another good play too. Definitely some positives, man. I'm happy with the defensive performance for the most part. I do think the offense was well below average, and that is a concern. I'm just not overly concerned with the drops. Like that, those are fixable problems, and I hope they do get fixed sooner than later. Please. Please and thank you. What's up, Angus? Quentin said, bro, we need Kadarius Toney more practice. Oh, yeah, we need to get him more practice. I was actually, at one point in time, man, I was a little confused. I'm like, why are they still targeting Kadarius Toney that much? I think Mahomes just likes him. He has good rapport with him. Kadarius Toney had a pretty, like, if you look at his overall, like, routes ran last year, he didn't run a lot because he was hurt. He was traded for after the deadline. But, dude, he was the most targeted receiver per route run, I believe, is a stat by Mahomes. So, basically, when Toney was out there running routes, Mahomes looked for him, like, first and foremost. So, Mahomes trusts the guy. Okay, so with all that being said, I still got a little confused when they kept going back to him, 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 when he obviously was dealing with some confidence issues. The drops were happening. I understand after the pick 6, you're trying to get it back to Toney to build his confidence back up. But, dude, after several drops, it's like, okay, do you want to try somebody else? I mean, but again, Mahomes trusts KT. He did miss all of training camp and all of preseason. He was rusty. Been practicing with the team for like a week. I would expect that problem to get fixed sooner than later. I was actually very surprised. I thought Toney would be on a bit of a snap count. I mean, he didn't play a ton of snaps. We could go pull up the snap count list, but he played more than I thought. That's for sure. Britt Lyons, what up, man? Britt's in here. Good to see you, man. Cole, too much carryover from last year. Poor third and short. Drop passes. The drop passes wasn't like a major issue last year. At times some guys struggled, but not like overall that I could think. Deflection for pick 6. I mean, that didn't happen. How many times did that happen last year? Pick 6s. Did Mahomes throw any last year? I know the year prior, Tyreek Hill had some. Defense trouble getting on the field on third down, no run game. Yeah, no run game. Sheesh. None. At all. James with another 5. Broncos Lamers on Sunday is more intriguing now with KC being 0-1. Whoever wins will lead the division. I don't really care too much at the beginning of the season. I mean, every game matters, but like the Chiefs being 0-1, and let's say, well, who's the Lamers? You guys playing the Raiders? Yeah, I'm not overly concerned either way. What's up, Justin Jefferson produces 800 years ago? What up, dude? It's possible for us to get T. Higgins? I have no idea. Maybe next year. Why didn't they target Rashee Rice more? Yeah, he had a few targets. I would need to look at his snap count. Let me see how many snaps he played. I mean, we can look at that because I shared it. You know what's also hilarious? Like, all these outlets are saying Kadarius Toney deleted his Twitter like it's new news. He did that like October or August 17th. He deleted his Twitter. And now everybody's like, Kadarius Toney deleted his Twitter. I'm like, how slow are you guys? He did that like 3 weeks ago. Like, what are you guys been doing? You didn't notice that Toney stopped trolling on Twitter 3 weeks ago? And now it's a story? I'm like, Okay, I mean, I know why everybody found it, because they were all going to try to find Tony's Twitter to roast him because he trolled like he did all offseason long and then had the game that he did last night. Of course, people are going to go roast him. And then they're like, well, he doesn't have Twitter. He must have deleted it because he can't handle the heat. I'm like, dog, he talked to the Chiefs weeks ago, and I guarantee you they're like, yeah, you need to put a stop to that. He deactivated it around August 17th. All right, let me look at these snap counts. Rashee Rice had 20 snaps on offense. I don't know how many routes ran that is. I'll share my screen. So if we look at this, I mean, Noah Gray kind of had the Kelsey role in the sense of a high volume of snaps played. Noah Gray had a couple standout plays. He's not Kelsey. He didn't have that. I mean, he had like what, one or two catches maybe. But that one catch that he caught and broke that tackle and ran up the right sideline, I was like, that was kind of freaking fire. What else we got? MVS and Sky Moore had the most wide receiver snaps on offense. So Sky actually had 45. Here's what I don't love about that is that Sky ran, these aren't routes ran, these are just offensive snaps. But Sky was in for 45 snaps on offense, okay? He had 0 catches for 0 yards. I mean, I don't like that. Like, I need to see a little bit more from Sky. MVS, he had a couple good catches, particularly that one deep ball right before halftime. Pacheco, he's out there. Let me look at the rest of the receivers. Richie James was 23. Rashee Rice was 20. Justin Watson, 19. Kadarius Toney, 16. And then Justin Ross, 6. He did play the most, or the third most special team snaps as far as offense goes. So, yeah. Rashee Rice had 20 snaps on offense, which was more than Justin Watson and more than Toney. But, yeah, wasn't targeted, like a piss ton or anything like that. All right. Let me look at this. Sky Moore was that much better than Toney? I mean, at the end of the day, they both produced 0 yards. So I don't know if Sky at the end of the day did any better. I mean, he didn't have as many drops, I guess, if you want to say that. Joel with the 5 said, what's up with the right tackle full starting most of the game? They only called it once, but they're going to start cracking down. I mean, if they want to start cracking down, that's fine. Just if it's a penalty, call the penalty. Like, just call it. If the refs are like, that's a penalty, just please call it, and he won't move so early. It's not really that big of an issue in my eyes, because if it's a penalty, just freaking call it. I mean, you've got wide receivers that are absolute push-off merchants. It's not called. So some of those snaps were, he was moving as the ball was moving. Some were maybe slightly early. If it's a foul, penalty, whatever, I'm saying it's a foul like it's freaking basketball. If it's a penalty, just call it. And then let's move on. They called it late in the fourth quarter, but if they could have called it earlier, I wouldn't have cared. Like, people are whining, moaning, pissing, and complaining about that. Like I or any other Chiefs fan can do anything about it. Oh, you paid the ref, so he didn't call false start. Like, dude, just call the flag, or throw the flag. I don't really care. Yeah, I don't care, to be honest. Like, they just need to call it. It's not a problem. I think I'm caught up. Am I caught up on the donos? Yep, James, we're good. Sherman said on his podcast today that Juwan Taylor can move his back foot all he wants. He can't move his front foot, so it's legal. I mean, dude, people can whine, moan, and complain about that. I don't know. The Chiefs still lost, so I don't know. Chiefs Kingdom, what up? They explained how his helmet has to be lined up with Creed's waist, and he was all game. They also just perfectly timed most of the game, except for a few snaps. There was probably some where he was a bit early. I don't think he was on a lot of them, but the one he definitely got flagged for, I saw it. I was like, that was full start. I called it too. As soon as they blew the play dead, I was like, yep, that was a full start on Juwan Taylor. It was pretty obvious. Chiefs are now awake. Yeah, loss is a great motivation. Facts. Rice, Ross, Watson, MVS need to be our ball catchers. Moore and Tony should be the gadget wide receivers running screens and jet sweeps. James with the 5. Everyone's talking about Chris Jones' absence being a factor. What about Frank Clark's absence? I know what you want me to say, James. I know you want me to gas up Frank Clark, but it was time. Charles Omenihu will do just fine. Now, the problem with Omenihu is he's suspended for 6 games. I love Frank Clark. He had a great relationship with Andy Reid. He had some crucial moments in the postseason for the Chiefs, helping them get some rings. He's not Chris Jones level, and he's not close. So, Chris Jones being out is way more of an issue in my eyes than Frank Clark. Frank Clark had like 4.5 sacks last year and was a rotational guy. He's been dealing with like chronic stomach issues and stuff, and so some of that's not his fault. But he wasn't always in there, and he played pretty good amount of snaps by the end of the season. But like, no, Frank Clark is not equal to Chris Jones. There's a lot of drop passes. Yeah, like 8. Like 8. Felix looked good. He was getting pressures. Yeah, I saw some positive flashes from FAU. Need to get Jones signed and make whatever space to get a reliable wide receiver 1. I don't know if you're going to be able to free up enough cap space for like a true like wide receiver 1. I mean, people were like, go get Mike Evans. Well, Mike Evans wants money. Like, I mean, maybe they can make that happen, but Mike Evans is also like 31 years old. So he wants an extension and more money, and I don't know. I mean, here's my thing. Travis Kelce is wide receiver 1. Was it an issue when he was out last night? Yeah, a little bit. They had 2 days to plan without him. I want to see what a game plan looks like and how they are able to execute with more time. So week 2. Now, obviously, Travis Kelce is technically a tight end, but I'm talking about from a pass catcher production standpoint. Travis Kelce is him. 8. This will be season 8, 1,000 yards if he gets there. 8 in a row. So, yeah, with Travis Kelce in there, it's fine. The absence of Travis Kelce, it makes it harder on everybody else because Travis Kelce is getting doubled, tripled in the game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if Travis Kelce, it's different for me. Like, if Travis Kelce would have retired in the offseason and they just rolled with this receiving core, I would be more concerned. But as long as Travis Kelce can get back on the field and stay healthy the majority of the season, I'm not that concerned. Flip with the 5. When, if anyone rewatches the All-22, keep your eyes on Justin Reed. He missed 1 too many reads, or couldn't blanket his man. He got picked on by Goff hard. Okay, yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. Pat is good. Pat Mahomes? Yeah, dude. I mean, he had a pretty good game. All things considered. Two years, people swore we were awful and we were a possession away from a Super Bowl. Facts. Yep, Mike Dana had some good plays. Frank Clark didn't make it as a starter? What do you mean? He's not a starter for the Broncos? You're going to remove your Chiefs tattoo now? All right, go for it. Hey, it's Nick said, more ain't it? I need more time. No pun intended on his last name. I need a little bit more time to see. But yeah, he was on offense for 45 snaps and had 0 receptions for 0 yards. Now, he did have a nice 17-yard reception. Got called back due to Donovan Smith hold. That was on 2nd and 10 on that last drive. It was 1st and 10. Huge drop by Kadarius Toney. That would have been like 25 yards, and he had room after the catch to even, I don't know if he would have scored, but they would have been in the red zone, and that's potentially game if they score a touchdown or they kick a field goal, and the Lions would still have an opportunity to respond. They would have 3 timeouts. Then so I was incomplete, dropped by Toney. That second down was Sky. That was a catch, 17 yards, holding Donovan Smith. Then I was 2nd and 20. Then it was an incomplete pass to Sky. Then an incomplete pass to Rashee Rice that was almost picked off on 3rd and 20. 4th and 20, false start by Jawan Taylor. And then 4th and 25. It was a catchable ball by Sky. I mean, it was hard. It wasn't an easy catch, but bro, could have had it. I'm still like, I mean, Andy Reid said he just felt like that's what they needed to do is go for it. But I'm like, you had the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts. You could have punted, I guess. But hey, I'm not the coach, man. I'm just here watching like, y'all, Jonathan with a 2. You're what up? KT let me down. Yeah, he had a rough game, man. No doubt about it. I just saw a comment from Sam I Am, Green Eggs and Ham of PFF. He said something along the lines of Kadarius Toney had the lowest graded game of any wide receiver since 2018. That's pretty bad. King Jack said, can you read my comment? Yeah, is that all you wanted me to read? Why didn't Justin Ross play more snaps on 4th and 25? Would have been perfect. I mean, the Chiefs are still working in Justin Ross. The average Chiefs fan and Chiefs Twitter are higher on Justin Ross than the coaching staff is right now. It's not even a bad thing. I think they're trying to develop him and grow him. And Brett Veach said in his presser a couple weeks ago, Justin Ross will come out in limited packages, as will Rashee Rice, and then everybody else will basically be a full go. I mean, that's pretty much what he said during his presser. So I just think the coaching staff is not, and this isn't even a diss. I just don't think the coaching staff feels that he is quite ready to just run wild and take up a bunch of the snaps. Now, can that change in 5 weeks? Sure, I would expect Justin Ross's snaps to go up slowly. I expected him to play more than 6 offensive snaps. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, that's just the pecking order and how the coaches view it. They have Sky out there more, MVS out there, Justin Watson, who else? Kadarius Toney. Andy with the 2. Kadropius Stonehands, poor guy. Bro, it was a bad game. Bad game. Flip with the 5. Did anyone else notice that George Karlaftis played some zone during that game? He didn't do well. Bro, I saw a clip on Twitter. I could not believe it. Goff missed it. He would have had a 65, 70-yard touchdown, I think, to St. Brown. Basically, what happened on this play was Trent McDuffie passed off St. Brown to George Karlaftis, who dropped back in coverage. And George Karlaftis can't cover St. Brown. What the heck is that? Now, Goff didn't see that. He went with a different read, and they still got the first down, so it's fine. But, dude, if he would have saw St. Brown, that would have been a 70-yard touchdown. I was like, oh, my God. You got George Karlaftis getting passed off St. Brown in coverage? Oh, my gosh. That was hilarious. Kelsey return date? Maybe week 2, possibly week 3. No confirmation yet. Optimistic James said next week you won't be asking for a so-called real wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that. I mean, and I don't think you're talking to me directly, but yeah, I'm okay with the wide receiver room at the moment. I need to see more, but the drops are a fixable thing, man, in theory. Ross might have the most raw talent. As he gets experience, he'll start becoming dominant. Yeah, and I'm totally fine with that. I think they're just going to slowly work him in more. Tony kept me running scenes from the longest yard in my head. Shouldn't have had that popcorn. Oh, God bless. Yeah, he deleted it back in August. Yeah, he did. Talking about his Twitter. You wish they were able to keep Juju? Man, Juju had off-season knee surgery. Did you guys know that? He's still dealing with knee issues, I believe. How did we get more swats than catches from Tony? Yeah, more passes batted down than I don't know. That's a great question. Missouri Duke. The Sky is a bust and Tony is what New York thought he was? What did New York think he was? I don't even know what they think. I've heard so much. I think it's early still to label Sky a bust. It was game 1. But if we get halfway through the season and he's somebody we think is going to be, top 2, top 3 wide receiver on the team as far as from a production standpoint, and he's not even close, I'll be more concerned. I know we call it, this is Overreaction Friday, and I kind of went through some of the overreactions I heard, but like, I'm not going to overreact and say he's a bust yet. No news on Kelsey's knee, Audra. What about the run game? Yeah, we talked about that. Mahomes had 6 or whatever, however many carries for 45 yards. That's as many yards as Pacheco and Clyde had combined. Not good enough. We passed on George Pickens to get Sky. We did. What is up with the 3 and long the Lions had, and he literally just ran to the sticks? No press or anyone looking at him? I don't know what exact play that is. I can't remember off the top of my head what play that was. What's up, Demon Angels? Good to see you, man. Ryan said, trade CEH for a Klondike bar. You lost a lot of money on this game? I don't bet that much money, dude. I don't do that. Personally, it'd be too stressful. Cole, rename your beer. There, Tony equals tanked. Tony 7. John Coy said, how long before LaMichael P. Ryan is elevated to the roster? I almost bet he's not unless there's injuries. I mean, there could be a chance where after a few weeks, if the run game stays like this, they might be willing to call him up and try to give somebody else a different look, either him or Prince, but it would probably be P. Ryan. I don't know, dude. That's a great question. It's a great freaking question. Dante said CEH runs with his eyes closed. Oh my God. Dude, you guys are freaking funny, man. Surprised MVS wasn't more involved. Yeah, 2 out of 2 when targeted. Yeah, man, both of those catches were solid too. I just picture CEH hitting that ball, just going like this, like hiding behind the line. How worried are you about our season after that rough game 1? I'm like a 1 out of 10 worried. Young guys needed to get reps. Obviously, the same thing for the Lions. Like, they had young guys, needed to get reps. I get that. I mean, the Chiefs just lost by a point, and I mean, the offense needs to get it together a little bit. I think the defense played well. I'm not that worried yet. I need to see more. Andy with the 5. I love that Justin Watson and Rashee Rice had their games, considering everyone's undue hate for them. If Mahomes hit him in stride, that was a TD. Trying to think of which play exactly you're talking about. Are you talking about the Justin Watson catch deep down the left sideline that he took to like the 5 and went out of bounds? Rashee Rice had a good game. Rashee Rice just got a little bit of people are getting on him because he had so many drops in the preseason. And honestly, his first target last night, he dropped it. You guys remember that? I mean, we kind of forgot about it because he scored that touchdown and then he had another couple great plays, but he dropped that first pass that he was targeted early in the game. I was like, oh, God bless America. But it was good. It was fine. What else was it? Justin Ross for sure. Yeah, Justin Watson had a few pretty good plays. Yeah, I mean, think about, he didn't catch that one deep ball, but a pass interference was called on him. That moved the Chiefs all the way down. Yo, Brendan with the 10. What's up, man? Thanks for the 10 bomb, bro. And Andy, thanks for the 5, brother. Appreciate you as always. What's the point of having a running back if you're not going to use him? Hey, man, I feel like we ask this every week. We've been asking this for a long time. I wish I had an answer for you. I wish I had an answer for you, especially when you can see Mahomes is out there struggling a little bit and these receivers are dropping passes. Now, when I say Mahomes is struggling, I think he had a great game, but it's just like, I'm surprised the run game didn't get a little bit more involved. is all I'm saying. Justin Watson needs a bigger role. I mean, if that's what they want to do, that's fine with me. I don't really care who it is at the end of the day. The Watson 45-yard PI was a catch if the defender hadn't pushed him out of it. I could see that. Pacheco needs to run between the tackles. He runs with violence. He was trying to be patient, too, behind the line. You got to think, man, they had 2 new tackles. So Donovan Smith, Jawan Taylor. I want to give it a few games. Give it a few games here first. Brennan, thanks again for the 10. Tristan with the 2. You're much better than the Chiefs report. YouTube. Thanks, Tristan. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you. Andy with the 5. Watson over the middle, 41-yard penalty. Underthrown enough to cause the pass interference. I agree. He needs a bigger role. Hey, he would have had 100 yards or close on the day with that. I know this might be an overreaction, but do you think we might look to get Mike Evans possibly? I don't know. Mike Evans wants another deal, and he's like 31. Now, he's had 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons, an absolute dog. I just don't see the Chiefs doing that unless the coaches got together last night and they're overreacting like the average, just some fans on Twitter. If they're overreacting that bad, they might go do something crazy. But the problem is there's a whole Chris Jones scenario that they're still dealing with at this point in time. Mike Evans has a $23 million cap hit this season. Is that who you're talking about? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how are they going to get that guy? Are you talking about Mike Evans? Let me know. Brennan with the 5. Pacheco, McKinnon, and CEH are all solid running backs, especially Pacheco. He runs like a killer is after him. Dude, he runs. He like runs on the grass like the grass did something to actually offend him. I feel bad for the grass.
We dominate every time we touch the field, baby.
Yo, Monique in here? Where's she at? What up? Dante with the 5. First super chat of on the channel. Thanks, man. CH runs with his eyes closed. And Ross needs to be wide receiver 1. I mean, let's give Ross some time, and let's see where he ends up second half of the season, you know? But, dude, you saying that about CH got me good, man. What up, Monique? It's actually called turf. Well, sometimes it's called turf if they're playing on turf and not grass. You do know that some stadiums have grass and some have turf, right? But thanks for the correction, Vince. What would I do without you? He got hit super hard last night. Yeah. He got fallen on by an offensive lineman too. Trade Jones and get Evans. I mean, you could do that. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen, but that's the only way you could free up enough money. I would rather have Chris Jones. Did MVS really have only 1 target? No. He had 2 catches. Yeah, I think he had 2 catches, didn't he? I could pull up the box score. Chiefs-Lions box score. Brendan with a 2. Can we please talk about the Nick Bolton pancake? Oh, yeah, when Nick Bolton blitzed up the middle, and he basically pushed David Montgomery down, running back, number 5. He pushed him down as if he was like a 3-year-old baby. And then, like a 3-year-old baby, no, I'm just playing. But he then lifted his feet up in the air and tripped Bolton. It was a 15-yard penalty. Yeah, Bolton looked good there. Okay, box score. MVS was targeted twice and caught both for 48 yards total. Somebody said Pat was not happy. No, he wasn't happy. He said, you got to be better. We got to be better. We need to execute at a higher level. But he also said, like, I'm just going to keep firing. I'm going to keep giving my guys chances. I don't put this loss on Mahomes, dog. I mean, I understand I'm a Chiefs fan. There's some bias there. I think Mahomes is the best in the game. But, like, dude, I just rewatched the game before the stream, or most of the game before the stream. I'm like, dude, Mahomes was going nuts out there. He didn't take 1 sack despite all the pressures. He's putting it, he's throwing it and hitting people here, and they're dropping it. So not everybody. Some were a bit tough. There was a couple passes he threw for sure. It was a little bit behind or something like that. You could have made it easier, I guess, at times on some of them, talking about those specific throws, but like those were still catchable balls, and they should have caught them. KT dropped 4. Yeah, he dropped 3 or 4 for sure. Tony must have either been high or faded before this game. He just had butterfingers. We dropped too many passes and had a couple of bad plays and could have played better defense. I feel like the Chiefs' defense played pretty well. They held the Lions to 14 points. You know, that's if you would have told me, hey, the Lions are going to be held to only scoring. Let me reword that. The Chiefs' defense are only going to allow the Lions' offense to score 14 points. If you would have told me that, like before the game, and you told me that was going to happen, I probably would have put 10 grand on the Chiefs winning. I'm glad I don't bet. You know what I mean? But like, they did pretty good, all things considered. Now, could they have prevented some of those points from happening? Sure. Like that opening drive or one of the early drives of the Lions where they had the fake punt and all that. Like, yeah, they then allowed them to go all the way down the field and score. But the Lions had 11 drives on offense, and they scored twice. The Lions were also, let me look at this. The Lions were also, they ended up 5 for 15 on third down. Now, the Chiefs weren't better. They were 5 for 14. And then the Lions were 1 for 3 on fourth down. You know, Justin Reed batted 1 pass up at the line. Jared Goff and company went for it on fourth down near the end of the game. So, defense was okay, but we got to play teams better than the Lions. Yeah, I mean, the Lions they're not a bad team. But yeah, you got to play the Bills, the Bengals, the Eagles, the Jags are next week. I mean, the Chargers are good. Like, yeah, you got to get it together for sure. You know people who went yesterday? Nice. Man, the D held they own. It was a good game. Pat did his thing. We are good. Yeah. Yep. If we get an extension done, do you know whose contract would be over? Are you talking about the Chris Jones extension? No. What do you mean whose contract would be over? What do you mean by that, Posy? Mark my words, when Kelsey plays, the wide receivers will look much better. Yeah, it's more than just Kelsey not being out there and like not getting targeted by Mahomes, but think about all the doubles he draws. So I posted a short and said the Chiefs missed Travis Kelsey in this game, and some people were like, I disagree. Wide receivers just need to catch the ball. Well, okay, yeah, they do just need to catch the ball, but they clearly missed Travis Kelsey on offense, and to say otherwise is actually very unintelligent. I don't know, like, to put it nicely. What do you mean they didn't miss Travis Kelsey out there? How can you say that? They put up, they scored 14 points in the second quarter, a field goal in the third quarter, and a field goal in the fourth quarter. Like, they put up 20 points when they averaged 37 points per game week 1. How can you say they didn't miss Travis Kelsey? I understand if some of these guys would have caught their passes, the Chiefs could have potentially won. I understand that. But to say they didn't miss Travis Kelsey, I mean, you are high as a kite. Funny, Chris Jones in the booth probably didn't feel safe in the crowd. And he was in a suite. Yeah. I don't know whether Mahomes was embarrassed or not, but I sure was. Oh, Mahomes was embarrassed. He said he was. Do we miss Bieniemy? I don't know, dude. Andy Reid runs the offense, man. Nagy said it as well a few weeks ago in a presser. He said Andy Reid calls the shots. So I don't know if we'll ever really know if we miss EB or not. You'll have to ask me weeks later, and we could try to figure it out. But the problem is we never really know who's calling the plays when, and Andy Reid has the right to change the play call at any time. He has the right to take over at any time. Sometimes he does that. He'll do it during red zone situations, 2-minute drills. Sometimes he'll just feel like they're in a funk and he'll just start calling the plays. I never really know when he isn't or is calling plays. I think that's the only thing. I don't know what you can really put on Nagy. And that I was the same thing when EB was here. I didn't know what to put on EB, good or bad. I kind of just blamed Andy Reid when they lost and praised him when they won. I mean, I didn't really put much on EB either way, and I'm not really going to put much on Nagy either way, to be honest. It would be different if Andy Reid was a defensive-minded coach. That's why EB's in Washington with a defensive-minded head coach, and he's the OC. It's just really hard to know. James the 5, everyone's hyping the Lions like they're the new beast in town for beating the defending champs by a point. I mean, I think Lions fans have the right to celebrate and be happy. Like, a win's a win at the end of the day, right? They got the dub. Like, the Chiefs won a lot of games last year, one-score games, and a dub's a dub. So, yeah, but I've seen some weird overreactions for a week 1 game. Not going to lie. When's the next practice? I don't actually know, Samson. If any of you guys know, let me know. Daxton said, on an optimistic look, our defense did look much better without Chris Jones. I don't think they looked better without Chris Jones, but I thought they did a good job. Are you meaning like they looked better than expected without Chris Jones? Because if so, I agree. I think Chris Jones out there makes them better, but they played well. Spags had a great game plan. I think they played pretty well. Now, they gave up 14 points? Yes. They could have stopped some plays and made some better decisions. I get it, but I thought they played pretty well overall, all things considered. I'm not concerned about the defense. Not Cole, that looked 2020 Bears offense. I mean, I didn't watch the Bears, but it looked like the Chiefs offense to me. I mean, without the drops, and then think about Travis Kelce. Like, I didn't see much different. They struggled on 3rd and short. They couldn't run the ball. Mahomes did his thing, and there was no Kelce, but like, I don't know that I really saw that much of a difference out there. What's up, Drew? How many drops for the whole game? Quite possibly 8, RMC Chief. It depends on where you look, but I think it was around 8. Audra said, I 1,000% believe that Chris Jones is being influenced by his agents. Sounds like Chris Jones is like plugged into the Matrix. He's being influenced by the agents. Yeah, I mean, he's following his agent's advice, I'm sure. Woozy said, I'm happy for the Lions. Some of their fans could take a lesson from their own team, though. I'm sure they aren't crowning themselves with oh, yeah, I mean, fans are fans. They're going to go crazy when their team wins, and, you know, and I don't really... I think just, like, remember for years and years when the Chiefs struggled? I mean, all we really had was regular season wins. I mean, and it was fun. We're like, yeah, the Chiefs freaking won. Let's go. You know, but we had nothing else to look forward to than some regular season wins. I think the Lions are borderline playoff team, if not make the playoffs this year. But, dude, they haven't won a playoff game since 1992. So they really are just, they're excited. They're excited their franchise is starting to turn around a bit, and then they're really excited. So I don't really blame them. Do you guys remember how we were at the bottom in the pits, and then Andy Reid came to town, and then things started going up, and we could see it. We're like, oh man, things are they're starting to look different. Like, that's kind of, I feel like, how the Lions are feeling right now. Callie with the 5, the Lions was deep in the stadium and at my hotel and at the airport. I'm tired of the Lions. My flight back to California sucked. Dude, how many Lions fans were at the stadium? It was still largely red, right? Jonathan Ray, calling another note, Burrow didn't take a hometown discount. Wonder if they signed T. Higgins. Well, I mean, every quarterback who gets a deal done. So Burrow, did Herbert get his deal done? I think he did. There's Trevor Lawrence. Lamar just got his done. Like, every quarterback who gets a deal now, they're all going to be the new highest paid person, basically. So when we say he didn't take a hometown discount, I don't know. I mean, that's just how it's going to work. And the cap hit's not going to hit heavy for at least a year or two. Lots of blue? Really? That's crazy. It sounded pretty loud when the Lions were making good plays. I was like, wow. The Lions are an above average team. Yeah, they're a good team. Yep. Why doesn't Mahomes audible out of the tight end sneak that never works? Well, to be fair, they had a trick out of that play. It was the jet sweep, but yeah, it didn't work. Eliminate even just a portion of the drops and it's a dub. Way too many drops. Oh, there was so many drops, dude. I bet if KC knew Jones was going to hold out, they would have kept Thornhill and Saunders. And yeah, it's I think hindsight's 2020 now, right? So you can't go back. I don't think anybody. I listened to Nate Taylor has his podcast with Seth Kaiser and I think it's Briscoe. They're now with KCSN. I don't know what it's called, but they're on there twice a week. I listened to their podcast the other day because I was just curious because Nate Taylor works for The Athletic. He's a Chiefs beat reporter. He's got sources in the building. I was just curious. What is Nate Taylor going to say about this Chris Jones situation, like on a podcast, not necessarily in an article where he's only going to write like one sentence about it, 1-2 sentences and an update, and then he'll move on to covering the rest of the team. They talked about Chris Jones for quite a while, and he basically said something along the lines of, basically from what he can tell, nobody in that building saw this coming. Everybody is shocked by it, basically. Like they can't believe he didn't play, that it came to this. So Lions jumped off sides on that trick sweep play. Yeah, Ginger Girl, but it's kind of on Blake Bell. He should have snapped the ball, and he didn't. So he made nobody move. So it wasn't a penalty because they didn't snap it. Cole, where do you get your Chiefs gear? A few different places. This is just from like a local shop. I don't even remember where. I don't even remember where this is from. But most of my stuff that I wear, it's in the description, breakingtee.com. And if one of the mods can hit !breakingtee. And then I have my own merch store as well, !merch. That should pull them both up. The Chosen Juan is hurt, might not play. Oh, really? No, dude. Not Thornhill. What's wrong with him? Let me see. Isaiah Pacheco's carry chart. Everything off tackle or horizontal. That's interesting. Oh. Frick. Hold on. There it is. Yeah, man. We're dropping a video today around 5, and I talk about the Chiefs in the run game, and I just say every now and again, I would just love to see the Chiefs run the ball this way, vertically. But I am not the coach. I am just a fan like you guys. But geez, man. Let me see. We need Justin Ross to play more snaps. I know there's a lot of biased hype around him, but his talent is not fake. I think they're going to ramp him up, and he will get an increased workload. I think he will. Sorry, Cole, Chiefed Up said something, shouting them out so they can get to 20,000. Hey, go sub to All Chiefed Up so they can get to 20,000. Let's go. Those guys are the homies. Yeah, All Chiefed Up, man. It's brothers, Mike and Steve Williams, and they do, it's pretty much like a podcast every day or almost every day. Talk about Chiefs news, and yeah, I've had them on here before, been on their channel, and they're good dudes. You know what's funny? I was driving down the road the other day in Lee Summit, and there was like a real estate sign on the side of the road, and the guy's name was Mike Williams or Steve Williams. It was one of their names. I was like, hey, did you guys move to Kansas City, and are you selling real estate? Ross catches those Sky Moore drops. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, he wasn't out there, so we can do the what if thing, but he wasn't out there. Chosen One has a injured calf. It sucks, man. Hope it's not serious. I mean, I don't really care about the Browns like at all, but I care about Juan Thornhill. Cody said, I guess we're going 16-1. I don't know. I mean, I said the Chiefs will win 13-14, somewhere around there. KC needs a jug machine bad. I bet you he's going to be working on it. Promise. Kadarius Toney's looking at film. He probably will. They're going to, trust me, they're going to go over it. Mahomes wasn't happy. They're going to go over it. I didn't like the run plays we tried most of the game. We barely had any effect on this game. You talking about the run? Yeah. They just run it how they like to run it. They like to run it out of the gun, and I don't know. Brett Coleman talked about it today on Twitter. Let me see if I can find what he said. Brett Coleman, he said, let's see. Okay. Let me see what he said. Okay. Keep going to the wrong screen. He said, this is why I hate when the Chiefs call outside zone from the gun. The track for the running back is so lateral that not only are cutbacks way harder to do because the angle is so sharp, but their eyes are at a tough angle to see the cutback in the first place. It's a bad play, in my opinion. And that's why people, sometimes people joke CEH runs with his eyes closed. But, like, when you watch this play, what is he supposed to do? That's how the Chiefs like to run, man. Not always, but geez, quite a bit. This game I wish we won. Oh, yeah, man, I wish the Chiefs win every game. I mean, I was at the AFC Championship game that the Chiefs lost to the Bengals. Like, I would have really liked them to win that game. That's for sure. That's the last game I've been to at Arrowhead. Yep, running game was weak for sure. They'll work on it, man. But it was a little bit of a concern. KCSN is turning into Legend of Superhero Sports Podsters. Dude, they got some heavy hitters on there. Yeah, man. Santino, thanks for the kind words, man. I was on one of their videos recently. It was yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that. He should have been out there as the point we're making, Cole. I mean, it's fine. I understand that people want Justin Ross out there more, but the coaches don't yet. But I do think they're going to slowly work him up and give him more reps. And, that was said by Brett Veach. Justin Ross is going to be out there in some limited packages for now. And then if he makes most of those opportunities, he'll get more work. He'll get more work for sure. You've been saying the outside zone is trash, plus run blocking isn't what the tackles are good at. Yeah, Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor, not the best run blockers. Now, you put them, it's like they were with two different teams as well. So you have to take some of those grades with like a grain of salt based on who they played next to, that game plan. Like the Bucks, like Tom Brady threw almost like a NFL record number of pass attempts last season, I think it was. And yeah, so they didn't run much as effectively. They put a lot of it on Brady, but yeah. They got to work on it. They definitely got to work on it. Cut Jawan Taylor? No, they just signed him to 4-year, $80 million. He ain't going nowhere. Caught the same amount of passes last night as Sky. Oh. Nick Wright getting trolled. He jinxed the Chiefs. I could have told you that was dumb. Like, why would you predict any team to go 20-0? It's so hard to do. Cole said, I feel like by week 5, Justin Ross will be on the field more. I can see it. Do you like Kadarius Toney? I mean, yeah, I don't dislike him. Do I think he should have not trolled and done all that stuff on Twitter? Yep. Am I glad he deactivated his Twitter like 3 weeks ago and everybody just found out about it yesterday? Yep. Do I think he had a really rough game yesterday? Oh, yeah. It was pretty bad. But yeah, I like the guy. I mean, he's got to bounce back, dude. He didn't participate in training camp or preseason, recovering from that knee surgery. He's got to bounce back. Jamal is the GOAT, Jamal Charles. I like that a lot. If P. Ryan isn't upgraded by November, it's something to say about the running backs room coach. Yeah, we'll definitely see. I'll be intrigued to see what it looks like as the weeks go on. We passed on JT to get CH. Yeah. You could look at that in every draft. There's kind of good players that get passed on. A loss is a loss is a loss. That's right. At the end of the day, on the record books is an L. The Chiefs are 0-1. Yeah, they lost by 1 point, but they had opportunities to win. They dropped passes, didn't execute, didn't get it done. Lions get the dub. Now, is the sky falling because they lost? No. There's some fixable stuff going on. There's stuff going on that's fixable for sure. Yep, Dean, we be okay. Go get Mike Evans. I don't know how you can afford him. Big Kid Crook with the 5. Thanks for the 5 bomb, brother. You wish Justin Ross had more snaps? Yeah, he'll get worked in. He'll get worked in a little bit more. But yeah, Big Kid Crook, I'm glad you're happy, man, considering we own your entire organization from the ground up. 15 wins in a row, little man. So enjoy the Chiefs losing. Doesn't happen too often, and Daddy will be home soon. Daddy Mahomes. We'll see you guys soon. Beach with the 10. I'm actually optimistic about this defense. Allowing only 2 touchdowns is far better than expected. No, facts. I was super happy with the defense. I'm actually optimistic once Kelsey gets healthy. That's a tongue twister. We could run it back. I mean, hey, it's always Super Bowl or bust with Mahomes and company, man.
Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
The Broncos are so bad that all they have to look forward to is the Chiefs losing a couple games this season. Imagine. Crazy. How do you feel about Juwan Taylor lining up, showing what our plays are? When he's deep, it's pass. When he's on the line, it's run. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to fix that. Yeah, they're gonna have to fix that ASAP. How do you feel about the Chiefs secondary? I think they did a pretty good job. Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job. For the most part, especially with no Chris Jones or a Minihue there, and Spags was blitzing everybody every which way. Can we trade Kadarius Toney? Probably not. I mean, the answer is yes, you can, but I don't know that they will. Chief for life, look at that Redbeard badge. What up? Look at it this way, and Angry Mahomes is going to set a lot of this straight. Yeah, I mean, they had chances to win, dude, and they did not make the most of those chances, but it's not like, it's not like the Titans game a couple seasons ago where it was like, what was that score? 3-28? I mean, it was close. It was down to the wire. Chiefs couldn't get it done, though. Taylor should have been flagged so many times. I mean, if that's the case, can they just throw the flag? I mean, I don't understand. If it's a penalty, why don't the refs just call it? Costs nothing for certain to be on the practice squad and upgrade. Facts. Optimistic look. Now we have bulletin board material with how everybody doubts us. Pat and Kelsey are coming back angry. Yeah, we'll see if Kelsey even is back. Well, I hope he is, but we'll see. Cut Donovan Smith? No. I'm not going to cut him this year. He's not the long-term plan. Not going to cut him, though. Risky to trade Jones? I don't know that they do that. Yeah, Chris, I mean, I enjoy it when, like, the Broncos and Raiders lose, but they do it so much. They're so good at it that it's just the expectations of those teams. So I'm not really surprised when it happens. The Chiefs lose so little. They're the most winningest organization over the last 5 years that when they lose, the Broncos and Raiders, they don't know what else to do because their teams are just pathetic. That's what they do. It's fine. I mean, that's all they got, man. That's totally fine. You think our defense is better? I mean, I think they played well. Yeah. Still proud about the Super Bowl. Yeah. Love Cole's reactions to all of our overreactions. Hey, man, sometimes I don't know what to say, and I just try my best. Juwan Taylor didn't get called for having ants in his pants all game. If they didn't call it, it's not a penalty. So I don't know what does whining and complaining, does that help you? Does it make you feel better? You know, do you want me to pay for a local therapist for you? Let me know. I will provide you the money for that. I mean, if it's a penalty, they can call it and then let's move on. But, you know, they didn't. So I don't know what else to say. They called it at the end of the game. I definitely saw it. It was a false start. Bench with a 10. Did I read this already? I'm actually optimistic about this defense. Allowing only 2 TDs is far better than expected without Jones. Facts. I'm actually optimistic once Kelsey gets healthy. Yeah, man, thanks for the 10. I agree. Yes, sir. Tony's going to get better. Yeah, man, he's just rusty. Building block and humbling. I'm happier this happened now. It will prevent the new guys and vets from getting cocky. Yes, this hurts. Yeah, I mean, a loss is never fun, dude. But it's not as bad as... It's not that bad to be... Like, to me. Like, looking at it. I would have loved the W. But, like... You know, it's fixable problems. We have a weird loss every year. Yeah, I mean, the Lions are better than the Colts. But still... Why does everyone hate the Chiefs? I don't really think everyone hates the Chiefs, but I do think, you know, like when the Patriots were dominating every year, people were just sick of them winning. They're just like, you know, oh, Patriots lost. I like that. So. People act like Taylor just started playing the way he does just last night. He's been doing that. Yeah, he's always been quick off the line. It's crazy how we went from people feel sorry for us to hating us so fast. Well, yeah, I mean, once Mahomes came to town, it started winning. I mean, they were winning with Reed before, but they were 1-4 in the postseason, right? Until Mahomes, and they were 11-3 since. So, pretty crazy. How long do we put up with Jones's BS? I think we're gonna figure something out one way or another soon. I don't think he's going to want to miss out on much more money. New deal or no new deal. He lost $1 million sitting in that suite last night. Thought Chris Jones at one point wanted D-Hop at KC, so he was holding out. So that would have been nice to have him at receiver last night. Yeah. Don't have money for him. Way I look at it, we lost this game more than the Lions won it. Well, I mean, you could say that, but at the end of the day, the Lions get the dub and the Chiefs get the L. However, the Chiefs did have opportunities to get it done, and they did not capitalize on them. Yeah, expensive seat. Very expensive. Who's your favorite Chiefs player on the roster right now? I mean, probably Mahomes. I don't think we need Jones. We need a wide receiver. I mean, hey, if they want to go that route, you can trade him. Cool. Did you also see the fellow red-bearded man on the Chiefs sideline? Yeah, he's one of the coaches. Maybe like the strength and conditioning coach. He's like me if I drank like protein shakes between every meal and was in the gym like 5 times a day. Cole's beard. Can you sign his wide receiver 1? I mean, I might have less drops. Just kidding. Does Kelsey keep the stash until the Chiefs lose? Is that what it is? Yeah, that stash is gone then. Do you guys want a rematch in the playoffs or a Super Bowl? Oh, with who? The Lions? It can only be in the Super Bowl. I mean, dude, I'm not going to lie. I do not care about regular season wins and losses that much. As long as the Chiefs win enough to make it back to the postseason, that's all that matters. Would I have loved the W last night? I mean, yeah, dude. That was not fun. You know, at the end of the day. Like, would have much preferred a W at the home opener. Yeah, I was happy with Justin Watson too, man. What are you laughing at, Spence? What are you laughing at? What'd I say? How would paying Chris Jones more money open up cap space? It just kind of depends on what the structure of the extension looks like. In theory, it could, but if it's as reported, where they're just keeping the cap hit the same this year and it's a 2-year extension guaranteed, then it more than likely won't. Just kind of depends on how they structure it. Yeah, Justin Watson came up clutch yesterday. Yep. Give Ross more time. I think they will. Daniel with the 5. Let's go, dude. Let's make the O-line thinner. The O-line thinner? What happened? Wide receiver, one job on the team is to catch the ball. True. I don't know what they technically offered Chris Jones yet. There's been reports, but nothing like hard confirmed as fact. He said a rematch would be awesome. That would mean Super Bowl. Facts. I think we're fine. I've been a fan since the QB days of Bill Kinney. I know Bill Kinney, by the way. Small world. We are used to winning and losing hurts more now than before. Yeah. Yeah, when you used to lose most of your games, winning was like the best part, and then losing was like expected. Chief for life, what irritates me is that short yardage play with Bell. That's facts. Jonathan Glenn with the 2. When Charles comes back, you think he's playing defensive tackle? I think he'll play both. I think they'll kick him in and play him outside. Will they primarily kick him inside? We'll see. I'm not sure. But he will play both 1,000%. What do you think, Jonathan? April with the 9 months. I get why Tony was targeted, but would have been better if they targeted McKinnon more. Yeah, I mean, Mahomes targeted Kadarius Toney the most last season out of every receiver, I think, besides Travis Kelce, like per route run. So obviously other receivers had more targets, but when Kadarius Toney was actually out on the field running routes, Mahomes targeted him the most per. I said it earlier, and I'm kind of butchering it now, but Toney didn't play a lot. But when he was out there actually running routes, his target per route run percentage was the highest. It was pretty high, but it was a limited sample size, but it did show that Mahomes likes Toney and trusts him, and he was just going back to what he knew and trusted. I mean, your most trusty sidekick, your Robin to the Batman, Travis Kelce, he's hurt. He ain't in. So Mahomes is looking at people that he trusts and giving them chances. I mean, some of those passes that Toney dropped, I mean, it was the right read. Mahomes hit him. He was open. He just didn't capitalize on it. Talking about Toney catching it and making it happen. Broncos country, let's ride. Amir Smith-Marset is a Panther. Why did Toney dip his gloves in oil? I wish I knew. Hey, when are you going to do a jersey giveaway again? Before the end of the month. We do one every month. Yep. I just gave away a Justin Ross jersey as well on Twitter. Jared Goff is plus 4,000 to win MVP. Jared Goff's not winning MVP. Are you worried about this season? No, not really. Not yet. Not yet. Wonder if we could sign Dontari Poe. Hey, bring him back. Please. Had a game similar to this early last year, week 2 against the Colts. Wide receivers didn't play well, and the media was saying week 1 win against Arizona was a fluke, and we needed Tyreek. Yeah. That's why I jokingly titled this Overreaction Friday Q&A, because I don't really have any hot takes or super overreaction stances based on the game. Chiefs could have won it. They didn't capitalize on the opportunities they had. Those drop passes kicked them in the nuts. And they walked out of Arrowhead with an L. I mean, Mahomes' message to the team is, got to be better. You blew your voice out last night? I bet you did, Rachel. Does Bosa deal affect Chris Jones' contract talk? Maybe a little. I mean, I understand the obvious differences. Bosa is a defensive end. Jones is a tackle. Bosa is 25. Jones is 29. Bosa, reigning defensive player of the year, whatever. Bosa is the better player, but it's two different positions. If anything, I think the Bosa deal, what was it, like $34 million a year or 34, I think, a year. I think whatever Chris Jones and company want from their end, they might be like, look, Bosa got 34. We're only asking for, let's just say 32. And you say, well, Chris Jones doesn't deserve that much. He's older. Well, Chris Jones would counter and just say, well, I'm not asking for a 5-year deal like Bosa. I'm just asking for the 2. That's how it could affect them, but I don't know if the Chiefs are going to budge. They looked pretty good on defense last night, dude. I don't know. I don't know if they'll budge. We need a Justin Ross emoji in here. Ooh, maybe we could get one. One of the top channels. I watch, great info and respect your knowledge. Oh, thanks. Okay, see, I appreciate you, man. Be at the Raiders game Christmas Day. Ooh, Christmas Day. Let's go, dude. What game is it? Raiders game? Easy dubs, baby. Merry Christmas. Cole, do you think it was a serious wake-up call for Veach to start getting draft insurance for Kelsey? I was surprised they didn't draft a tight end this year. Not because I think Kelsey's done by any stretch of the imagination, but I was actually a little surprised they didn't go after a tight end this year, man, to be honest. Goff is a workhorse. He's going to prove a lot of you haters wrong. Now, he's a good QB. Yeah, he's a good QB. I mean, he went on a crazy back half of the season run. He's gone how many completions or throws in general with no interceptions? Yeah, he's a good QB. He's kind of reminds me of like Dak Prescott. Like, they're good franchise QBs, but I need to see more, to call him great. But he's good. Yeah, for sure. I don't have any disrespect for really the Lions organization, for Goff. I think Dan Campbell's a great coach. Aiden Hutchinson's a dog. Like, I think they've made some good moves. 2 of the 3 passes to Sky were about 2 feet too high. Well, Sky needs to not be 4'11", for starters. Just kidding. 2 of the 3 passes. One was pretty high. The other one that he dropped was it was like waist high or lower. The last one that he dropped, the game that kind of sealed the game, it was catchable. It wasn't as high as the one that you're talking about, but it was definitely catchable. That one where Mahomes threw it up on 3rd down and Sky tried to leap for it. I mean, the problem is Sky had his back, or he was completely facing Mahomes, squared up. I don't have the coach's film, so I couldn't see the play, but ideally, you don't want to be squared up in case they overthrow you. You can pivot and try to make a play on the ball, but when you're squared up, all you can do is leap up. So I can't, without seeing the coach's film, I can't say more on that. But yeah. If no fullback will use a tight end means what we saw last night, I say bring back Sausage. Hey, sign that man right now. Curran Sayer said, did you hear Tony is undergoing surgery on his hands? Oh. Hey, man. You know what's funny is Kadarius Toney, he walked out into through the tunnel into the locker room, and he had his hands like this, like under his shirt when he was walking. Somebody shared an x-ray of 2 hands with like a bunch of broken fingers and said this is why he didn't want you to see his hands. Bro, he's getting cooked. And I mean, he's kind of asked for it a little bit. I mean, with how much he trolled all off season long, you kind of asked for it, KT. You kind of asked for it. What's up, awesome AA Ron? What are your thoughts on the Patriots? Honestly, has-beens. Okay, trolling aside, I think Bill Belichick's one of the best coaches to ever play the game. As long as he's there, they always have a fighter's chance. I think they're in a really tough division. That's like my honest, like, bro, they got some juggernauts in that division. The USFL meme took me out. I don't know if I saw that. What's up, King Hoy? He said, "What's up, bro? Did Drew Tranquil play?" He played, not a lot, but we were looking at the snap counts. I could pull them up pretty quick. He played. Drew Tranquil played 13 snaps on defense. That's it. He played 11 on special teams. Drew Tranquil played the third least snaps on defense out of everybody. Chamari Connor played 10 snaps, and Keandre Coburn played 9. Drew Tranquil was third least with 13. For context, I know this is small, but the other linebackers, Nick Bolton played 67. Drew Tranquil played 13. So Bolton, then you had Gay, who played 47, and then Chanel played 28. Yeah. Interesting, huh? It's less than I thought. That's for sure. Chanel took the snaps. Yeah, he did. Dubro said, "Who does your editing? It's fire." Thanks, man. I mean, I have an editor who helps with a lot of the short form edits, and then he helps me with some of the long form. For a long time, I did all the editing because I'm a videographer by trade. But I hired an editor in April and have trained him up, and he's killing it, man. He's doing a great job. His name's Troy. He does a lot of the editing. I still have a hand in like the long form edits still. That's just because they're a lot of work, but he does all the short form stuff. Bearded Onions. What did Bearded Onions say? I went to drink this and haven't opened the cap. Ollie said, "I have no idea why you guys never utilize back shoulder throws. That's where Burrow makes his bread and money." Just different play styles that like Mahomes and how they play. They like their receivers to be open. They like the separation, and that's how they play. However, Justin Ross is a guy, for example, and Tony is as well a little bit, that you could do some back shoulder throws to. Rashee Rice as well. He has a 41-inch vertical. Will they utilize more 50-50 jump balls? I have no idea. Ollie, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. I'll have to tell Troy that he got some good compliments. Did you see the Kadarius Toney Chubbs Peterson meme? I have not. I need you guys to send them to me. Honest thoughts of CJ in the suite with his agents during the game? It was freaking weird. I mean, I didn't know what to make of it. It was weird. It was so odd, dude. I'm so baffled by the whole thing. I'm just straight up baffled by it. Thoughts on Mike Evans? Freaking dog. 9,000-yard seasons in a row. Off-topic question, what did you do in videography before YouTube? I freelanced quite a bit, and I shot a lot of weddings. Then I did a lot of like talking head stuff, like mini doc style testimonial videos. Then I worked full time as like a lead videographer for a church for a while, running a team. And I basically took all that knowledge and poured it into this channel. And yeah, man. My wife even still does photography. We've got a few cameras in this house. When's the video dropping? Probably around 5:30. I'm waiting on Troy. Let me ask Troy a question. Cole's beard runs the show when Danny tells it what to do. Or Danny tells it what to do. King Felix had the third highest PFF grade. I haven't looked in there yet. I'll look in there soon, though. Bionica said the whole wide receiver room must have stayed up and partied the night before. They were all hanging out with Aaron Rodgers doing shrooms. They were seeing like funny shapes and UFOs. I'm just playing. I mean, it was really. I mean, there was a bunch of drops, but like Tony had 3 or 4. Elizabeth Reed with the 50 bomb said, "Happy Friday, Chiefs Kingdom." Elizabeth, I hope you're feeling better. Please tell me you're feeling better. Elizabeth with another one. Also, let me know when you're back and ready for Jack Stack, because me and Danny are down. Me and my wife are down. Thanks again for all the generosity, Elizabeth. Appreciate you. E-Money. JS called her E-Money. Did you watch the tape on Jawan Taylor lining up illegally and tipping when we were passing all game? No. I mean, I saw like clips like floating around on X, on Twitter, about him moving early. If it's not legal what he's doing, like, come on, refs, just call it. Like, I mean, Jason Kelsey kind of has the best mindset with calls or no calls. If it's not called, it's not a foul. If it's not called, it's not a penalty. So if it's a penalty, call it, and then let's move on. Did Rice play? Yes. He played. Did you watch the game? He scored a touchdown. Yeah, and had a couple nice plays for sure. He definitely did. Mahomes had a great game, and the stats definitely don't tell the full story. No, I mean, Mahomes goes down with that INT, but that was on Kadarius Toney, bro. That was that was right here. It was right here. That's a catch. That's not on Mahomes. But it's fine. Yeah, like, stats don't tell the whole story. Cole's beard be catching some Tank 7? It kind of does sometimes. They didn't call late hits on Mahomes. Aiden Hutchinson was getting close to me. Like, a couple times I was like, was that a late hit? But again, no flag, no penalty. But I was like, oh, that looked close. And that's how I view, like, the false start stuff. Or him leaving, like, right when the ball snapped. I'm like, oh, that was close. Then I look around, I'm like, well, no flag. So, all right, keep going. I mean, I've been a martial artist I've trained in martial arts, Taekwondo for 12 years, and watch UFC and stuff. And it's like, there's rules. But, like, if the ref isn't calling it out and warning you, like, the rules are meant to be somewhat bent. If they flag it, okay. But, I mean, there's push-offs and contact on, like, every play between wide receivers and defensive backs. It doesn't always get called. Who the freak said it? The Eagles defensive backs recently, when they still whine and complain about the Super Bowl loss, like, they were like, there's holding on every play. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes the refs call it. This is what it is. The one he was called for there was nobody around. I don't know what penalty you're talking about. Hutchinson's going to be a beast? Oh, he's good. Yes, sir. The game against Detroit was just embarrassing. Defense actually didn't do horrible. No, defense played pretty good, Rifleman. Nearly everything wasn't drop/tipped, reminiscent of the 2022 season. True. Did you see they were trying to say we booed the national anthem, the Black national anthem, with the clip of us booing the Lions? No, I haven't seen that. I have not seen that. Offsides. I like what I saw from Karlaftis and FAU. Yeah, George had a good game. What lot do you tailgate in? I mean, I pretty much just go to one game a year, and I just go and kind of just like walk around. I just go, walk around, and then get into the stadium. Middle schoolers make those catches Kadarius was dropping. Frick. Jawan Taylor did it his entire career with the Jags, but week one he plays on the Chiefs, it's illegal. I mean, Maybe they will start cracking down on it. If so, that's fine. I mean, a lot of what we were seeing, he was starting to move when the ball was being snapped. So I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, and I don't really care, to be honest. Like, if it's a foul, if it's a penalty, like, just throw the flag then. Let's move on. Only Cowboy I like is Ashley Nicole Moss. I literally don't know who that is. I'm afraid to Google it though. Who's that? Ashley Nicole Moss on Twitter. 70,000. Oh, of I Am Athlete. Ah, yeah. Okay, that's it. I don't really watch that podcast, but I know who that is now. Okay. That's hilarious, bro. Caleb's edits, I'm 13 and I could catch those passes. God bless. We getting cooked. Matt D said, "You're a season ticket holder?" No, sir. Never been. I'm pretty introverted, dude. So I try to go to one a year, but I like watching at my house, like by myself. I'm weird. Which is why YouTube is the perfect thing for me, because I'm always in my house. Yeah, my family's never been season ticket holders. We've just always watched the games together, stuff like that. I don't think it's an overreaction to say the Chiefs are in big trouble. That's an overreaction. Yes, they have Mahomes. Ask the Packers how the roster strategy works for Rodgers. Well, Mahomes already has more postseason touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes are not the same. There's levels to this game. Rodgers is a great QB. He'll go down as a Hall of Famer, but he's not Mahomes. Have you been to Arrowhead? And if so, yeah, I've probably been to, I don't know, or 10-ish Chiefs games, something like that. Thoughts Cole Pacheco was one of our better receivers last night. Yeah, he had a couple like solid catches out of the backfield. Like, I was like, oh, I didn't think he was going to catch that. Yep, with an average of 8 yards, I'd like to see more. And that role might not be just on McKinnon. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping this year we'll see Pacheco take a step up, catching passes out of the backfield and in pass protection. Optimistic only. Oh, did you donate that again? A double? A double? KT Lamp retired? Oh, he's retired. For now. I definitely took him down. I was like, I don't think people even want to see this right now. I took it down yesterday. James is very optimistic today. Yeah, man really likes her so much. He did the double promo. Yeah, he did the double promo. Need Kadarius Tony hands lamp. Imagine we turn on the Tony lamp and then we put hands popping out of it. Like, it'd be pretty funny. I hope Tony's confidence isn't shot because of this game. Yeah, I hope not. I don't think so. Oh my gosh. Big Bang. That's hilarious, bro. Michael's a fan. Let's go. He has no hands. Cole jinxed it. It's my fault? Ah, man. Tony Lamp gonna tip over and set off all the smoke alarms again? Dub Freak, what's up, man? Do you have any suggestions on what we could do better at short yard distance? No. Something different than a tight end sneak and then trying to reverse it on a jet sweep, like trying to play out that on a jet sweep. How about running this way? That way. This way. Clay by Arnold Schwarzenegger. You met him once. His advice was you must be willing to break the rules. Did he really say that? People are really ripping on him on social media. It's hard to do bad on the first game of the season. They're ripping on Kadarius Toney. Oh, they're going insane on Toney because he hella trolled everybody all offseason long on social media. Yeah, so they're gonna really go off on the guy. Whoever made that joke last night said, you got to hand it to KT. That was fire. Oh, God bless. Chucky. Stop doing jet sweeps. That's a good idea. Run behind the guards. If you ain't cheating, what are you really doing? Are we going to lose some power running aspects with Nagy as OC? We'll see. I don't know that the Chiefs have the strongest run game the past couple years either. I mean, really, since, correct me if you think I'm wrong here, but, Kareem Hunt, it was fire. And then, we had some splashes with, Damian Williams and stuff, and we had stuff that worked, but, I don't even know with Nagy as OC, would you guys say the Chiefs had a dominant run game? Because I wouldn't. So I don't know how much it's going to change. Max said, bro, I'm a Bills fan. I was dying when the Lions won. GG for the Chiefs, though. They played a good game. Lions are going to be good. I'm surprised you're rooting for the Chiefs. But, or just in that game. But yeah, man, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, the Lions, they've definitely took a step up. Must be willing to break the rules or you never win. Okay, that makes sense. I think the only part I enjoy about a loss is seeing everyone freak out. Yeah, that's always fun. Bro, last night was crazy. After the loss, we still had 2,000 people in there. Bro, we had we had 100 Bengals fans in there. I'm like, where did you cockroaches come out of the shadows from? Get your impoverished, go over there. What are you guys doing? There's so many. I was like, what are you guys doing here? It's like people that have cockroaches in their house, they don't even know that they're there until you turn the lights off. And then you're like, dude, where are these things coming from? Brand said chat was untapeable after the game. It was crazy, bro. I even have people, random people are donating, trying to roast me. And in my head, I'm like, thanks for the 5. Appreciate that. I got to pay my editor, so. How'd you feel about 74? I need to go back and specifically watch the O-line, but he struggled at times, did well at others. They were scurrying around looking for a cinnamon chili. Kind of sounds fire. Tony deactivated his Twitter August 15th. It's been gone. So I'm like, everyone's reporting that Tony deleted his Twitter. I got Dov Kleeman in my DMs today. Dov Kleeman in my DMs because I called him out for sharing about Tony deleting his Twitter. I was like, dog, he deleted his Twitter 3 weeks ago. And he's like, well, I'm just reporting on what all the other places are reporting on. I'm like, it's still wrong. He literally asked me to change the tweet or delete it. I was like, why? You're wrong. Why would I change it or delete it when you're wrong, dude? What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Dov? Chris Jones walking around with his agents looking like bodyguards. Yeah, it was like a Dollar Tree mafia bodyguards. You think Rashee Rice performed good? Yes, I think he had a good game. He had a drop on his first target. But outside of that, yeah, he had a great game, in my opinion. I wonder what the over-under is for how many drops Tony will have in Jacksonville. Take the under. I have faith. Waddy said, I think we did okay, just miscues and poor tackling. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the defense overall. I would say there was some missed tackling for sure, don't get me wrong. But I think the drops are a bigger problem. Is Chris Jones' new nickname the Godfather? Possibly. We had way too many attempts to tight ends and not enough attempts to our young athletic wide receiver group. I could look at the box score. Let's see. Can I sort this by targets? Dang it, I wish I could. Let's see. Okay, the most targets. Bro, I hate ESPN. They always have ads that play audio and I can't mute them. Okay, there we go. Let's look at this real quick because I'm curious. Hello? Why does this do this every time? Here we go. Oh. No, this is right. Let me zoom in. I don't know that the tight ends were targeted that much. Let's look and see. You could very well be right. Okay, Noah Gray was targeted 5 times, which was the most outside of Rashee Rice, who also had 5, and Tony, who had 5. Who's some other tight ends here? Blake Bell was targeted 3. MVS was only targeted twice, dude. I feel like you got to target that guy a little bit more. He caught both passes. Justin Watson targeted 4. I mean, Noah Gray was targeted 5 times, but he caught 3 for 31. But his longest was a 24, that 24-yarder up the right sideline. I don't see any players overly targeted. Now, would I have loved to see MVS get a couple more targets? Yeah. I mean, Sky had 3 chances. Justin Ross only had 1 target, but he was only out there for 6 plays. Richie James only had a couple. Yeah. I don't see anything overwhelmingly crazy as far as disproportionate targets go. MVS is gone after this year? Oh, he might be. I thought it was funny when people saying he wasn't going to make the 53-man roster this year. I was like, what the heck do you mean? Don't make any sense, man. You don't make no sense. MJ said you're delusional if you're not worried after that game. I am minimally worried. I'm not going to overreact to a week 1 game when there's 16 more to play. I'll be more worried week 3, week 4 if things aren't turning around. But MJ, if it makes you feel better to say it like that, then okay. People that don't have roaches eat lettuce salads. Lettuce salads. Let's be honest, the coaching was not good. Could have coached better. It's a combination of things. Could have called some better plays here, especially on the short yardage situations. The wide receivers could have actually caught the ball. You know, that would have helped too. Should have kept Smith-Marset? I don't think so. He was playing against 3rd and 4th team defenses. I would have loved to put him on the practice squad, but I think the Chiefs knew he wouldn't clear waivers. I don't mind having concerns after week 1, but to be overly concerned after 1 game, it's a little much, in my opinion. Why did the Chiefs not go for it? Went up 17-14, knowing a 6-point lead does them no good. Wish I knew, Sam. On that 4th and 2 when they kicked a field goal. Yeah, I wish I knew. Yeah, 1 game without Kelsey and Chris Jones and Charles Omenihu. And I'm not making excuses. There's some concerns. I'm addressing them in today's video. I talk about it for like 5 minutes. But I'm not losing sleep and think it's the end of the world. If that makes sense. Cole, would you have said anything to Chris Jones if you would have ran into him in the stands? I would have said, what up? But he ain't trying to talk to people. You know what I mean? Amir Smith-Marset had 0 drops in 3 games. Yeah, against 4th team defenses. So good job. But he wasn't going to make the roster, man. Wasn't going to make the roster. Well, hey, guys, I got to go because we're working on a video that we're going to drop around 5:30. So I'm going to get off, get that thing buttoned up, title it, and all that good stuff. And we're going to drop that. It's a game recap. We take the game footage, the broadcast footage, and I share and give all my thoughts around it. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. And until next time, oh my gosh, Elizabeth with the 50 right when I was about to end it. I agree with you, Cole. As much as I'm disappointed with the L last night, I'm not really concerned for the rest of the season. At this point, at least. We'll see how the team responds next week. Yeah, I need to see more. I need to see more than game 1. Obviously, the loss sucked. There is some concerns, but we need to see if they fix them. If they fix some of the concerns, I am obviously less concerned. If they drop 8 passes next week again and they score 20 or less points on offense, I will be officially concerned, especially if they have 10 days to plan with no Travis Kelce and he doesn't play again. I'll be concerned. But I'm not really concerned right now. I need to see a bigger sample size, and I'll be more concerned week 3, week 4, if they don't start turning things around, because I need to see more opportunities and more chances and cohesion and unity to be developed with all the new players and all that stuff. That's what I need to see first. So, Elizabeth, I'm glad we see the same on that. Thanks again for another 50 bomb. Appreciate y'all as always. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those